On DT, Valentine's is coming. Where's your boyfriend? Where's your girlfriend? You are sitting alone, lonely. Okay, jokes aside, first of all, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being alone, but there's certainly something wrong with being lonely. Boys and girls, please remember, please understand that you can be complete, you can be whole, you can be content with being alone, with being all by yourself, with being a self-loving human being. But it is also okay to yearn for a partner. It is okay to yearn for a person outside of yourself to love you right. It really is okay. And a lot of people tend to mistake admitting to this fact that we all need and want love as a weakness. It's not a weakness. Instead, it's very, very courageous. It shows a lot of strength. It shows a lot of bravery, because being vulnerable, letting your guard down, takes a lot. Only weak people, only scared people, people who live in fear, refuse to let their guard down, refuse to let somebody else or other people come into their lives and love them. And I understand why this could happen, but it's also okay to admit that you want someone, you would love to have love in your life coming from a romantic partner. It really is okay. You're not weak, you're not stupid. Instead, you're brave, you're smart, you're courageous, you are strong, because love is beautiful. And I know a lot of hurt people project and they make you feel like you are stupid, you are weak when you want love, when you're searching for a soulmate, when you're searching for the love of your life. This video covers Sierra's prayer. This video will guide you and help you attract the partner of your dreams. Number one, believe that they are out there. Believe that you deserve them. I know many women believe that all men are trash, but this isn't the case. Please understand that when men fight back and oppose this stereotype or this stigma or this label or this hashtag that's been attached to them, and they attack and they say, Aibo, we've met trash women as well. Women aren't as innocent as they claim to be. Women aren't as perfect as they claim to be, because they are right. There are good women, there are good men, there are bad women, there are bad men. But there's one thing that we cannot deny, and it's the fact that it is much easier to find a good woman than it is to find a good man. And that's why when a woman bags or secures an amazing high value man, it is like, what? How? Help me, teach me, give me your prayer word for word, because I want that too. It's been very difficult for women to attract or find good men, and this has been an issue since the beginning of time. But also, I don't want to just put the blame on men, because we have allowed men to treat us in a mediocre fashion. We have allowed men to give us the bare minimum while we bend over backwards, while we overextend and overexert ourselves in order to bag and secure that man, while we change our behaviors, shift our thinking in order to suit them, in order to accommodate them in every single way, and we lose ourselves in the process, or we lost ourselves in the process. And this has become a generational thing, because you'll notice that even cheating men justify and excuse their disgusting behavior by saying this has been a thing since the beginning of time. Our great grandparents were doing it, our grandparents were doing it, our fathers are doing it. It's a thing, and women have been tolerating this, women have been accepting this, so it shall continue. Now, I want to tell you today that it all begins with you, women. At the end of the day, you are the prize. You are the one being chased. You are the one being hunted. You are the one who allows them into your space and says, yes, I want you to be my partner, but you have to assess whether they are worthy of being your partner. And you need to be able to differentiate between pet peeves and red flags. Pet peeves are things that you can tolerate. Pet peeves are things that annoy you and you sometimes feel like, oh, I can't take this, but you actually can. You can tolerate it because you realize that this person is human. So that makes them imperfect. Yes, they are an image of God, but they are not God. So they are flawed. And so am I. I'm not perfect either. Therefore, I can accept this. I can tolerate this pet peeve and we can work around it. And over time, things actually start to get better because it might be a trait that is fixable or that can be tweaked, unlike a red flag. A red flag is something that shows you, Uguti, no, this is a no-go zone. This is a danger zone. This ain't it. But we tend to overlook red flags or we tend to mistake red flags for pet peeves. But I also think that's intentional because women have accepted that all men are trash and you can never find a man that meets your standards, so you begin to settle and you start classifying red flags as pet peeves. You are now selling yourself short. Every time a red flag pops up, it's the universe's way, it's your ancestors' way, it is God's way of showing you that this is not it. A red flag is something that you cannot take, tolerate, tweak. It is something that makes you feel bad. For example, disrespect. Now, disrespect umbrellas or covers a whole lot of factors. It could be in the manner in which he speaks to you. It could be in the manner in which he treats you. Or it could be cheating. Now, that's a red flag, especially to me because I'm honest with myself. I will never, ever tolerate a cheating man and accept that this is the way it's supposed to be. And accept that all men are like that and I just have to stomach it. You see, we've been taught that this is the way life is set up, and if you want to have a man and not seem like there's something wrong with you or you're lacking in some kind of way or you can't keep a man, then you just have to tolerate them as they come. You just have to gather those scraps and accept them as they are, which is very, very wrong because our mothers did that, our grandmothers did that, our great-grandmothers did that, and all the other women before them. And it has become a vicious cycle that has been passed on from generation to generation. It is time for us to stop it. There are good men out there. Believe that they exist. Believe that you deserve a good man. Only messed up people will tell you, Uguti, if you want a good man, then bake him yourself or create him yourself because he does not exist. If you want a faithful man, then create him for yourself because he doesn't exist. Only people who are messed up in the head, who are projecting their insecurities, their pains, their traumas. Only people who don't think they deserve those kinds of men believe that. Because let me tell you something. If they really didn't exist, then you would not feel the need or the longing or the yearning that you feel for a good, committed, faithful, secure man. The fact that you feel the need and the fact that it hurts you every time you're cheated on or ill-treated in any way means that there is something better out there. The fact that you dream of and you envision a man who will treat you like the queen or the goddess that you are means that he does exist, and he too is dreaming and envisioning a queen, a goddess for himself. Believe it so that you attract it. You are worthy. I've spoken to you guys. I've said this to you guys so many times. Until you start believing that you are royalty, you are a god, you are a goddess, you will not attract what you deserve. You will just settle for all the scraps that the world has to offer or that society shoves at you or forces you to stomach. It is up to you. Put that out there into the universe. Say that I am smangmang. I deserve the best. I am the best. I am the cream of the crop. Therefore, I deserve the cream of the crop. And I will get it. Once you believe that, half the battle has been won. Trust me. Number two, last year I asked my Instagram followers what they'd want me to talk about. And most people asked me to break down how to bag or how to secure the partner of your dreams and how to maintain that relationship once you have secured it. I'm not shoving my beliefs down anybody's throat, but this is what worked for me. This is what worked for Megan Good. This is what worked for Sierra, and everybody's constantly asking for the Sierra prayer, and everybody's constantly asking, how did you get such an amazing man who's all about you, who's all for you, and who's just basically what every woman wants? I'll tell you how. Sierra worked on herself. And I know a lot of you are like, oh, what do you mean? Like, we just want the prayer word for word. Give us the recipe. Give us the formula. Stop with this bogus-ish of don't do this, do that, da 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 da. Work on yourself. I'm not trying to work on myself. I'm already perfect. This man must just come into my life. And that's another problem that we have as women. We lack accountability. We don't take accountability for our actions, for our shortcomings. Be the person you want to attract. You're not perfect. Understand this. As I've previously mentioned, you're not God, so you can't be perfect. You have a dark side. You have toxic traits. And these are things that you need to tackle. These are things that you need to deal with. There are parts of you that need healing. And until those parts have been healed, you will not attract what you feel you deserve, especially when you still think that you are perfect. Rid that mentality. Work on yourself. Stop looking for a soulmate. Look for your soul mate, and your soulmate will come to you, or your soulmate will find you, or you will find your soulmate. Once you lead with love, everything falls into place. Start loving yourself. And when you love yourself, you're honest with yourself. You do self-introspection and you take note of your strengths and your weaknesses. You rectify your mistakes, your disruptive patterns, your toxic traits, and you strengthen your good qualities. For example, you're not going to attract a faithful man or woman if you are a cheat or a cheater. And if you do, that relationship won't last. And if it does last, it will be very unhealthy. And you guys will be very unhappy, or at least one of you will be very unhappy within that relationship. So what's the point? Because we're trying to create solid, long-lasting, happy and healthy relationships. That's what this video is about. Everybody should win in a relationship. There should be a balance. Make sure you're a good person before you seek a good person. For example, I knew that there were changes that I needed to make within myself. I knew that I needed to stop entertaining situationships. I knew that I needed to stop tolerating certain behaviors, because you might not be a cheat or a cheater. But if you tolerate cheating, then you'll keep attracting cheaters, because what you allow is what will continue. I knew that I needed to create boundaries and stick to them. Because if you say you're not going to tolerate this, this is unacceptable, don't do this to me, or this will be the consequence, and that person does that to you and there aren't any consequences suffered, what's the point? That person will keep doing that thing again and again and again, and it'll become a destructive pattern. So now what are you doing? You're settling. You're settling for the very same thing you said you wouldn't settle for, or you wouldn't tolerate or accept. So what are you doing now? You're losing. You're the loser in this. So what's happening? There's a lack of balance. And what happens to that relationship? It becomes unhealthy. And last but certainly not least, establish and maintain a strong and healthy relationship with God, with the universe, with your ancestors, with the force, whatever it is that exudes light that you believe in. Establish and strengthen that relationship. Speak to God. Be it through prayer, Be it through meditation, be it through fasting, be it through a combination of all of those things, which is exactly what I did. And when you speak to God, you are specific. You speak to Him as though you are speaking to your parent. Now, I know our relationships with our parents differ. My parents are my best friends. Other people do not have such relationships with their parents, but I'm here to tell you that God is your parent. And you can be comfortable with God. As long as ungamjoyel Gabi, be comfortable with God. Open up to Him. He knows, He already knows how you feel. He already knows your thoughts, your dreams, your desires. Now open up to Him. Speak. Tell Him, I would like to meet a partner who's like this, who's like that, who's like that. You know what works for you. You know what doesn't work for you. Do not make exceptions just because you think that person doesn't exist. And do not think, oh my gosh, what makes me think that I'll actually get this person? Remember, I told you, the first step is believing that that person is out there. That's why you feel the need for them to come into your life. That's why you have that yearning for this person, because they do exist. But also remember that you need to understand and believe that you deserve them. And just because it's rare for people to meet the love of their lives, their soulmates, whichever way you choose to see it, doesn't mean that it won't happen for you. If not you, then who? So be specific. I want a kind man. I want a kind woman. I want a gentle woman. I want a woman who's going to be respectful. I want a man who's not going to degrade me. I want a strong man, but who's also capable and strong enough to allow himself to be vulnerable and gentle. I want a woman who will commit to me. I want an ambitious woman. Then ask God what He expects of you. A lot of people don't realize that God is always speaking. It could be through this video. It could be through some sort of experience that you have. God speaks to us in many ways. I'll give you a proper example. There was a time when I used to go out and I would have the time of my life. But then I came back home and I would feel so lonely and so empty. And I'd be like, what is lacking? What am I missing? And I then realized that I actually would like a partner now, because I'd been single for such a long time and I'd been happy and content with that. But it got to a point where it clicked to me that I'm ready. But I want a good partner because I'm not going to settle for just anything. I want an amazing partner. I want a phenomenal man who's going to be faithful, who will be strong, who'll be a provider, who'll be this, that, and the other. I had my list. And every time I would entertain anything that opposed the things that I wanted in my partner, or any time I would exude behavior or behaviors that opposed the list that I created of things that I'd want my partner to be, God would be like, hey, Bo, how do you expect me to bless you with this partner when you yourself are not this partner? Do you not think that this person will want you to be just like them when they come into your life? You want a kind person, but when things get tough, or when you're extremely angry, you go low, you hit beneath the belt. Why would I do that to my child? Why would I bring that person into your life so that you can break them? Nah, fix that. Fix that about yourself, and only then will I give you that. I was like, got you. And I started working on that. Now, I told you to be specific, right? So I told my God, I will do whatever it is I need to do to attract the partner that suits me, the partner that I want, the partner that I deserve, the cream of the crop, the partner of my dreams. But God, I need this person within a year. And He said, oh, okay. Well, then I need you to make this and this and this change and this sacrifice. And I said, bet. I looked deep within me. I worked on my toxic traits. I became the partner that I wanted to attract. I even went as far as saying, I'm going to sacrifice life's pleasures so that you see just how serious I am about this. And he said, will you be able to? Are you sure? And I said, absolutely. That's how much I want this. And I want to honor you. I want you to see just how seriously I take you. And I want you to see that I believe in your power. I have faith in you. I already believe that you're going to give me what I'm asking you to give me. But I also realize that I need to reciprocate and give you my life, basically. Because sometimes I don't walk in the path that you want me to walk in. So I'm going to fix that so you can give me this. I stopped doing certain things that I really enjoyed. I became celibate. Now you need to realize that sometimes God tests you to see if you're actually ready for your blessing, or uyabhibhidla nje, uyakhuluma nje for the moment because it's appealing ngaleso sikhathi. But are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to commit and see it through? So there were tests here and there. An ex would hit me up. An old fling would hit me up. And I had to think, hi man. Sometimes these people creep back in just to see if they still have access to me because they want to keep doing the same thing that I used to allow them to do unto me. Sometimes God brings those lessons back into your life to see if you've actually learned the lessons that you were meant to learn via these people. And if you allow them back in, it means you haven't learned the lesson. Sometimes God sends these people back into your life to see if you're actually ready for your blessing, or to see if you're still stupid. Because if you're going to fall into that trap, it means you're not ready. If you're going to take back a cheating ex, it means you will tolerate cheating. How am I supposed to bless you with a faithful man when you're still open to such behavior, when you're still going to tolerate a cheating partner? You can forgive, but you still need to move on. Cut ties with that. Don't even bring that into your space, because they're now going to tamper with your frequency. While waiting, while praying, while meditating, while fasting for your partner, it doesn't mean to gallivant now and entertain everybody else and let them come into your space and contaminate or demolish what you're trying to build. It's time to wait and be patient and trust the process and do what needs to be done and commit to what you said you'd commit to. But if you fall victim, or if you fall for the temptations of the world, then you're not ready for this godly blessing or this godly being that I'm yet to bring into your life. So I believed that my partner was out there. I believed that I deserved him. I worked on myself and I became what I wanted to attract. I also formed an amazing relationship with God, and I communicated with him, and I said, by this time, my partner needs to be within phakathi, inside. And he said, what are you willing to do for me? I said this, that, and the third. And he said, you stick to that. You will get your partner way before that date. And I'll show you when it's him. There is something that will happen that only you and I will understand. And you will realize that, this is it. This is him. But you see, you can't have those kinds of conversations and that kind of understanding when you don't have a solid relationship with God. I had given him a year. He gave me my partner within 4 months. Within 4 months. So, you've secured this amazing relationship that you've been praying for. What do you do to maintain it? Make sure that God remains your foundation. And that is why when I prayed for a God-fearing man. A man whose beliefs, morals, values align with mine. I wasn't going to tolerate or accept a man who did not believe in God, or who did not believe in what I believed in. There was no way, because that wasn't going to work. There was going to be a clash. So make God the foundation of your relationship. You know for a fact that that relationship is secure, because God is everything great and God is everything that exudes light. So you already have love. You are already committed. You already have respect for each other, and so many other things that create, solidify, and maintain a healthy relationship. Number 2, don't get too comfortable. Now that you've gotten your partner, it doesn't mean that you should just let yourself go and relax. Do all the things that you guys used to do at the very beginning of your relationship or when you guys were still courting each other. Go out on dates, play games together. You know your love language. Your partner knows your love language and you know your partner's love language. So keep that going, keep that flowing, because once it stops, things are going to get monotonous. Things are going to get boring and that imbalance is going to start kicking in. Communicate effectively. In order to effectively communicate, you need to respect each other. Because sometimes you won't see eye to eye. Remember, you are individuals. So you're bound to disagree when it comes to this, that, and the third. That's okay. That's supposed to happen. Otherwise, if you agree on everything, then it's just like, do you not have a brain of your own? Like, ooh, yebo baba, yebo mama. No. But even when you're disagreeing, even when you're not seeing eye to eye, still lead with love. Lead with kindness. Be respectful. Once you start fighting dirty and you eliminate all these positive qualities, you introduce animosity, hostility. And there's a very thin line between those emotions and hate. And last but certainly not least, love wholeheartedly. There is so much power in allowing yourself to be vulnerable, in letting your guard down and not always assuming the worst of your partner. It even encourages and motivates them to be great, to get better and better with each day and to love you in the best way ever. Block the external noise. A lot of people project just because they've never experienced or witnessed genuine, authentic love. They think it doesn't exist. Or they think you're delusional when you want it or when you have attained it. Focus on you. Stop making everybody else your couple goals. Be your own goals. Set your own standards. Do what works for you, what works for your partner, what works for the both of you. As a couple, as a unit that was brought together by the most powerful force. Believe that it will last. Because sometimes, even to this day, sometimes I'm just like, what are the chances that this is going to last forever? Because it's so amazing. And I know everybody wants the kind of love that I experience on a daily basis. So why me? But like I said before, why not you? You deserve it. You believe that it existed. You worked for it. Now believe that it's going to last, because the foundation of it is the strongest force that cannot be broken down by man or anything else. I truly do wish you guys the best.
I love you.